Okay, we're definitely trying to keep up with you guys, but if anything is missed, if you have a burning question that gets unanswered, please feel free to reach out to us after this. If your questions are, I'm seeing a lot of category specific questions, to which I would say, check out the resources we've posted in the chat, because our website does have detailed explanations of every single category's eligibility, as well as in the OEP process themselves. And yes, so I have a question about making separate entries for multiple categories. For a single release, yes, you will be making multiple entries depending on how many categories you're entering in, particularly if you're entering in the genre categories, as well as album of the year and the craft categories.
I have a few. Let's see. If you do have a physical and won't be ready till weeks after digital submissions, when do we submit that? We're not accepting physical, so submit the file. Like, if it's available on a DSP, give us those links. Another one is, does a song have to be a certain age to submit? Great question. We have a 5-year rule, so for most of our categories, with the exception of some certain craft categories, the album or track cannot be older than 5 years old from the release date. So it has to be less than 5 years old.
I'm seeing a lot of questions about, do I have to be, or does an artist have to be signed to a record label to enter? No, absolutely not. Independent releases are entered all the time. Definitely encourage both. So if you have any questions about that, please reach out to us, but you do not need to be signed to a record label to qualify.
Next one is, what if you are an independent artist that is currently not signed to a record label? That does not matter. You don't need to be part of a record label to submit entries. We get independent artists all the time. What is the best way to get a full list of credits? We do have a format, I believe. Michael, is there a format for them to submit the credits online?
Yes, so preferred method is the label copy. Anytime the label copy is available, let us have that. If not, in the resources section, there is a template for what we're looking for, the basic recording information. That is definitely in the resources section. Yeah.
Thanks. Next one, how do we handle album submission versus song submissions as individual songs? You just submit them as separate entries. So if you have an album, submit it in an album category. Then you could pick tracks and submit them in performance and song categories. Next one, do they all have to be listed on the physical CDs, engineers, producers, etc.? Because we only release digital, there's no place to add that kind of thing. As Michael said, we prefer a label copy of credits. So we're not accepting any physical products. So if that's what you're referring to, that is not something we need.
I've seen a couple questions regarding remixes. If a song original is released in the same eligibility period as a remix or reproduction, the label or the artist entering can choose one of those to be the official track to use that year. However, if a original song is released in an eligibility period before the remix, that remix then would only be eligible in the remix category. You could not enter that in any other category.
Next one, do we do a new submission for each category if the material is the same? For example, if we want to submit multiple categories, yes, you need to do a separate entry for each category you want to submit in. You cannot duplicate an entry and submit that one time and spread it across.
We have a lot of questions regarding media registration. Your media registration window is still open. That runs for quite a while, so you do have time. If you have any issues again on there, you could reach out to us regarding whether or not you qualify, or if you have any technical issues in registering.
Next one is, what's the difference between a track and a single? A track is part of an album. A single has a standalone EPC, ISRC. So a single is just a standalone release, whereas a track is actually part of an album.
And we've answered this one in the chat, but I just want to say it in case anyone else is having issues. If you have any issues with your membership, issues renewing your membership, any glitches on the site, please reach out to our membership team. That email will be provided on our resources, but definitely reach out so you can make sure that you're all up to date so you can submit.
And I just want to reiterate with the recording dates. I got several questions about people being concerned that it wasn't recorded within the eligibility year. As I said before, it can't be older than 5 years old from the release date. So if you recorded it 4 years but released it within this current eligibility period, it is eligible.
They've answered a lot of great questions. We know there's a lot more. Please reach out to us at onlineentry@grammy.com and give us those questions, and we'll make sure to get back to you as soon as we can. In terms of this presentation, this actual slideshow will be available to you. It will be in the follow-up email. And the actual video of this is going to be available very, very soon. We will be posting that to our YouTube, Recording Academy YouTube channel, and we will make you all aware once that is available. Now, just because it's my own nature, one more list to go down to really drive it home, guys. So log into Grammy.com, media company or member, Grammy.com is where you start. Make your entries a few at a time or all at once. Hit the final submit button by 6 p.m. Pacific time. Anytime you see a time reference, remember it's Pacific time. Check your email for that confirmation. That's your receipt. That's the proof. If you don't see it, let us know. We'll send it back. And then required physical product for those certain craft categories, send that in as soon as you can. Any other questions? Online entry at recordingacademy.com. Give us a call there, 877-637-6816. And Grammy101.com is also a great resource that talks about our process. Ralph and Shelly have been putting links to other resources that you can access now, and that would be your best starting point. So that's where we're at. I really do appreciate all of you being with us today. I highly suggest just taking your time. That is the single biggest piece of advice I can give you, is start early, take your time. It's going to make this process enjoyable, and it should be. You're entering into the Grammy Awards. This should be a very enjoyable process for you. And yeah, let us know. Really let us know if you have any questions. Our team will get back to you. And with that, I want to thank Ralph and Shelly. Where are you at? Yes, they did an awesome job. And thank you so much for being with us today. And good luck making those entries. And welcome to the 64th Grammy Award season.